There we go. Hello. Hello, hello. How's it going? Welcome to those of you watching the replay, because nobody's ever this fast. How's it going? I'm just switching my audio, because of course it's doing what it's supposed to. There we go. Good morning. May as well light my smudge. Hi, Amanda. Good morning. Hi, Kale. Nice to see you, bud. How's it going? Hi, Michelle. Lighting some Palo Santo. Raising the vibes. How are all of you? Did you guys have a good weekend? Hi, Katya. Hi, Adriana. Hi, Connie. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the smoke room. Smudge all the bad juju's away. So, did you guys have a good weekend? Oh, yeah. Getting all the good vibes coming in. Hello, hello. Are you watching on the right one, Amanda? Because sometimes I stream from multiple Facebook pages right now, so you might be on the Soul Apprentice one rather than the Astral one. If you're not seeing comments, that'd be why. Hello, hello. How's it going, everyone? You had a boring weekend, Michelle. Those are good, though. Those are recuperation weekends. Hi, Patrick. Nice to see you, bud. Hi, Aaron. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Jordan. Hi, Aku. You had a birthday weekend. Nice. Happy birthday, Connie. Very cool. Let's see what the solar flares are doing. We had a whammy of a solar flare over the weekend. Things were really ramping up. Things have been getting crazy. Oh, shit. Look, guys. Bam. How do you like them apples? Holy shit. Oh, no fucking way. Look. Damn. We had some doozies. Oh. I have no words. I've never seen it. This is fucking wild, you guys. Holy shit. Wow, I haven't even checked the Schumann yet. Damn. Wow. Yeah, let's see the Schumann. What's the Schumann doing? Oh, yeah, the Schumann is also acting up. We got a... Look at that. I wonder if that was a timeline jump. Damn, you guys, that is insane. I can't believe... That is nuts. I'm going to show that again. That is just insane. No wonder it was a wild weekend. Damn. I did not sleep very good. Massive aurora last night. Well, there's an aurora app that I'm on, which is really cool. So if you're on the aurora map, you can actually see where the aurora is right now. Let's see how far low it is. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, we've been having quite a lot of blasts from the solar. The geomagnetic is nuts right now. I mean, that is wild. I'm on the what do you call it? The Magnetic Storms app if you guys want to track it. I heard the news were warning about the solar flares this morning. Well, if the news is even reporting on it. But that just remember what the Tagetans said. They said that real solar flares do not mess with technology, that is something the cabal likes to use as an excuse. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these solar flares, but there's definitely some crazy energies coming in. But we already knew that was going to happen. So this is why I have two. Tomorrow is a big day, guys. I have Siddhartha coming on tomorrow. Siddhartha and Angelica will be visiting. They're going to have a chat with us tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And then at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow, we had to move things around a little bit because Andy's got a very busy schedule. But Andy and I will be doing a Chen Uncensored talk where we're basically just going to talk about the you-know-whats and how to counteract some of those effects. We're going to talk about, I know you guys have a lot of questions about what Chen said during the last Chen talk about all the chaos that is supposedly going to be coming. The soul guides have a much more expanded perception than we do, and they can see the most likely scenarios that are going to unfold based on the current trajectory, you know what I mean, and where things are moving. So they can kind of get an advanced warning as to what kind of craziness is about to occur because they can see those timelines in the future. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen, but I think they have a little bit of an idea. So we'll get some more insight on that tomorrow. But since I already have like 80 of you watching, nice. Good morning, everyone. I think I was planning on telling you guys a little bit about my trip this weekend. Because as I've told you guys many times before, I am an avid psychonaut. I like my psychedelics, always have. I've been tripping since I was about 17 on all kinds of different things. Mushrooms are always my favorite. And occasionally around the Sabbats, I tend to partake. And the reason I like them so much is it really activates my my abilities. Like I basically go to like a full-blown medium when I'm tripping. I can have full-blown conversations with my soul guides. I mean, a couple times ago, I was dancing around in the living room with my grandparents, listening to Pink Panther. Like, that's one of the reasons why I like it so much. So I had a little bit of an experience this weekend. I took a rather large dose because I have a very high tolerance anyway. So I had a really good conversation with my guides. And so one of the things that they were harping on me about, though, is I've been using cannabis for about 21 years. Kind of almost like religiously, like it's my favorite thing. And I have always worn my pothead badge very proudly. Like I have no shame when it comes to the fact that I love cannabis. I've been all over the world with it. I was even a judge in the Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam before Aiden was born, obviously. But I've had a lot of experience in that arena. And I've met a lot of wonderful people that way. So one of the main points of me using cannabis so much was the fact that it's such a social thing because I use it to relax. I use it to sleep. I use it to have fun. You know, I'm very much medicinal and recreational. So, yeah, it's just always been my favorite thing. And I have been using it as a crutch, though. And I'm well aware of this fact where there were times in my life where I felt like jumping off a bridge. And the only thing that really made me feel better, because you have a puff and you're like, it's not so bad. You know, it's the reason I'm still here, you guys. My life has not been easy. So cannabis has always kind of saved my butt in many ways. But I've also become so reliant on it that without smoking, I didn't get much sleep. I've always just, it's the main thing. Like like I'm going to Colorado for my birthday. As many of you know, I've got the retreat in Colorado with Aaron coming up, and I have a few extra days to spend, one of which is going to be my birthday. So I booked myself a cannabis retreat in Colorado because why the fuck not? So this has always been like one of my deciding factors. Like if I'm going on holiday, I'm like, where am I going to get my stash, you know? So it has always been something that has benefited me, but it has also been a pain in my ass, if you know what I mean. So the funny thing is my guides, they tend to give me a lot of shit when I trip because I can actually hear them now. So all the things that I didn't hear them about over the last 8 weeks, they make sure to bombard me with it. And one of the things they have bombarded me about is the fact that I have been abusing it as a medicine because it is a medicine. I mean, there are over 50,000 known uses for it. everything from clothing to food to medicine, you name it. You can even have it for, building houses and stuff. So yeah, they gave me a lot of shit about the fact that they're basically like, we're trying to help you advance your abilities. You're meditating more, you're exercising more, and these things are all good, but you're still holding yourself back by smoking so much. And they basically told me, they're actually giving me shit about it. They're like, are you sick? And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, then why are you taking so much medicine? Would you take Tylenol this much? And I'm like, well, Tylenol is very different. Thank you very much. But they basically told me, like, I have a very fancy crutch. It's like, I've been using it to walk for the last 21 years. And I do use it every day. The only time I didn't was when I lived in Austria for 3 months and I couldn't find it. So I've basically been smoking almost every day for 21 years. And I mean, I tell you guys everything. I'm going to be straight with you. So my guides were actually giving me shit about it. They're like, you need to simmer down. They're like, you have been riding this train for so long. I think it's time for you to just take a break. So I was like, okay, I'll see. So they actually told me to take a 3-week break. And I'm like, all right, I could do that. And I lasted a week. I was like, you know what? The stress is too much. I'm having a puff. Like, I just didn't give a shit. So, of course, this was about 3 weeks ago. now that they had the opportunity to give me shit about that, they're like, no, your days of smoking every day need to be over. So they basically explained to me, like, it's okay if you do it recreationally. It's okay if you do it medicinally. Just don't beat it like a dead horse. Like, you don't need to use it every single day. So I'm like, all right, well, what is the alternative then? Because I'm like, I'm not just going to quit cold turkey, something I've been doing for 21 years. And they're like, well, we're not asking you to quit. They're just saying limit yourself because you have been holding yourself back. Like, I have been frustrated with the fact that I haven't been able to get out of body in a while. I've been practicing my astral projection and I've been struggling too to get out. And they said that was one of the reasons why. They said that cannabis is not only a suppressant for dream recall, but also for getting out of body. And that's when they recommended something new. They said, you need to get some Blue Lotus. And I was like, I've heard of Blue Lotus, but I don't even know what it is. So I Googled it, and it helps with lucid dreaming. It helps with anxiety. It helps with a whole bunch of stuff. So my plan is to only partake on the weekends and drink Blue Lotus tea at night, and we'll go from there. So yeah, they are saying that my gifts are being held back by my dependence on it. And so it's like a choice. Like, you're like, well, you can keep smoking it all you want. We don't care. Smoke until you die. Like, we don't give a shit. But if you want to up your game, if you want to step forward and make things progress a lot faster, then you are going to have to find a better alternative for it because, this is your choice. So, but like I said, it has been, this is the reason why I got off of Adderall. For the record, my parents put me on Ritalin, Dexedrine, Adderall, all that stuff starting when I was 8 years old. So the only reason I was able to get off of amphetamines, government-given amphetamines, was because of my cannabis. Like, if it wasn't for cannabis, I would never have gotten off of Adderall. Never. Not a chance. That stuff was so addictive. I didn't have any energy. I couldn't sleep. I was so depressed. Oh, yeah. There's no way I would have gotten off of it. So it has a reason. It has certain times in my life where it has been supremely beneficial to me, like introducing me to friends, making sure that my depression didn't take me out. So right now it's getting to the point where they're like, you're strong enough, you don't need it anymore. So they're basically challenging me. They're like, let's see what you can do here. So I challenge accepted. I'm going to only partake on the weekends. Maybe I'll even skip it sometimes on the weekends. We'll see. I don't know. But I figured I'd be straight with you guys because this is something that they were very, serious about. They're like, look, if you really want to advance your skills with mediumship and with all these things, then you're going to have to give it a break because it is getting in the way. And I do have my medicinal license, so I can get whatever I want, whether it's gummies or whatever. But they're even telling me, like, you need to just give it up entirely, because even if you're not smoking it and you're eating gummies, it's still going to affect your sleep. It's still going to make your mind cloudy. It's still going to make me a bit lazy. It has always kind of done those things. But it's one of those things too where you have to be aware to set your intention before you smoke. Because a lot of people will just smoke to relax, and that is the intention of, I just want to chill. I've had a hard day at work. So they puff and then they relax. But you can actually set your intention to do certain things. And this is why I'm going to tell you guys the other crazy thing that happened to me while I was on psychedelics this weekend. Because there was a point where I've been noticing that I have a block. There's something that's been blocking my ability to really kick it up a notch and to get deeper into trance and sort of thing. So when I realized that I was peaking, I was woo up there. I thought, all right, how am I going to use this? What intention am I going to set for this trip? So I sat there and I'm like, okay, I closed my eyes and I went to meditate, and I was like, take me to my biggest block. The biggest block that I have that's in my mind right now. Take me to that point. You guys will not believe what happened. The next thing you know, as I say this to myself, all right, like, take me to my biggest block, like my biggest mental block. And I was going to use the mushrooms to actually like knock that wall down, if you know what I mean. Well, that wall knocked me down instead, because as soon as I said that, I don't know what happened. I just felt this whoosh feeling, and I immediately connected to another version of myself. I don't know where she was. I don't know who she was. I don't know when she was. I just know it was another version of myself, or maybe even a collective version of myself. I don't know. But as soon as I tuned into her, I had this blood curdling scream go through my entire body. And that scream was filled with emotions that there are no words in the English language for. I mean, it was anger, pure rage, depression. I don't even know what it was, but there was just this. I could see her too. She was curled up on the ground, screaming blue murder. And it was so heavy, you guys. As soon as I connected to that version of myself, I just fell apart. Like I could not stop sobbing. I was sobbing uncontrollably. So be careful what you wish for, because that block, it was like I got hit by a Mack truck of emotion. And I could not stop the tears from flowing. Even when I was laughing, I was listening to music, I was doing stuff around the house, and I would still just be pouring tears from my face. I couldn't stop the tears from flowing. Like, it was the wildest thing. I don't know what happened. I don't know what version of myself I connected to. But it's funny because the reason I was really excited about this trip, and I'll have to tell you guys something honestly. The other day, I went to do clearings with Katie, and Katie's soul guide Nim was already talking. Or sorry, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is a different time. So one of our other mediums was practicing, and Katie was the facilitator for it. That's right. And one of the other mediums was already in trance when I joined the Zoom call. And she said, and we always check our sovereignty before we start doing clearings and after we do clearings to make sure that nothing jumped to us while we were doing the clearings. So she was finishing up with this trance medium. And the soul guide, she goes, can you please check my sovereignty? And can you please check the sovereignty of my colleague that just joined the call? And the soul guide goes, yes, you are sovereign, but your colleague that just joined, the young lady, she is sovereign, although she is experiencing melancholy. And I was like, what? They straight up called me out on my melancholy. And melancholy just means that you're sad for no reason. And yeah, I've been feeling down, especially after all the drama that's happened over the last month or so. And I haven't really completely kind of snapped out of that. But to have the soul guide straight up call me out on it and told me that I need to do something to sort it out, I was like, okay. I didn't realize that you could actually see melancholy on somebody when you actually, you know what I mean? Like, you can't hide anything from a soul guide. Exactly, Megan. So what was funny is I just looked at him like, oh, okay. So this was my goal for this trip, was I wanted to sort out my melancholy. And that's why I asked, like, take me to the biggest block. But I also wanted to know what I needed to sort out internally. So yeah, that moment when I connected to that other version of myself where she was just screaming and crying and just having this emotional breakdown. I don't know what was going on. But I felt all of that emotion hit me, and it drained it. I don't know what happened, but all of that tears, all of the emotion that I hit, I feel much better today. Like quite literally, I feel my melancholy is gone. I feel great today. I actually feel really happy and optimistic, and this is why I love mushrooms so much. Because I mean, like I said, it really got me out of that funk that I didn't even know was there. And so it did help quite a lot, and I'm very grateful for that. But I'm also trying to figure out what the hell happened, because it was an intense emotional release on a level that I've never experienced before. So I've sent love to that other version of myself, and I'm trying to kind of heal through that. But it's also to the point where I realize, like, there's a lot more that's probably still in there that I haven't cleared out. And I do feel a lot better now. So this is one of the reasons why, like I said, mushrooms are the best. Weed and mushrooms are the only two plants I thought I needed. But they have suggested I try blue lotus. So I ordered some tea, and I'm going to try maybe some of the extract to see how it goes. But like I said, I'm trying to just do everything kind of from my own. It's coming because Siddhartha had this conversation with me. This is one of the things that Siddhartha told me in our private conversation. Was he's like, you don't need it. Like, this is something that you think you need because you've been using it so long. And for a time you did actually need it, but you don't now. You're okay without it. So I guess we'll see how it goes. So now I'm kicking a 21-year habit that I love very, very much. Like I said, it's become part of my like persona. Like, I would have the biggest 420 parties at my house. We used to run around because it's always kind of around Easter too. So we'd have like a 420 Easter egg hunt where I'd put like nuggets and Easter eggs and I'd hide them all over, and my friends would come and look everywhere. We'd put candy in there. We'd put money in there. We'd put condoms in there. Like, it was an adult Easter egg hunt. It was a lot of fun. So, I mean, it's something that I've always embraced as like this amazing, wonderful thing. And I am not changing my tune about that, because I'm completely convinced it is the most medicinal plant on earth. But they do have a point that I don't need the medicine. If I'm unwell, if I'm sick, if I have an issue, like some kind of a neurological thing, like Parkinson's, where you need it to function normally, that's different. But if you're just using it because you're bored or trying to sleep, there's better alternatives out there, is what they're trying to tell me. So I always listen to my guides. I try very hard to not let them down. And so when they give me really solid advice, I take it to the best of my ability. So yeah, that's my plan. But they also told me that I need to change the name of Divinate. There's a whole lot of stuff that the guides gave me for homework. So there's a whole lot of things that we got to do. So for now, I am going to try the tea and go from there and see how it goes. But some people, like, it's just not their thing. See, Cindy doesn't like the smell and it makes her sick. I would wear the smell as a perfume if I could. I would. I love the smell of cannabis. I would. I'd be like, something about it makes me so happy. I don't even know. But like I said, like I'm a work in progress. We all are. So I'm willing to try new things. I've heard, same here, Ray. I've heard of Blue Lotus, but I've never tried it either. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know what I think of it. Because it needs to evolve, JC. That's why they told me they would like us to change the name. They wanted to evolve into an actual school. Apparently, there's going to be a lot of attention on us soon. This is one of the reasons why they told me that I need to drop my habit. because apparently I'm going to be entering the big leagues soon. That's what they told me. Those were their exact words. You're going to joining the big leagues soon, and you need to get ready. And I was like, fuck. No pressure, right? Shit. So, yeah, it is one of those things. This is one of the reasons why I tell you guys everything, because I know many of you are going through a similar experience. And you know what else is funny? You know what they told me? So get this, right? Some of you have said, like, you recognize me. Like, a couple people have said, like, there's something about you, Laura. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I know you. And there's a lot of people that have basically just said, there's something, like, I don't know, I feel like I know you or something. So I asked my guides yesterday about it a little bit. And long story short, they basically told me that I was a starseed recruiter, that I was up there convincing many of you to come here. So apparently a lot of you are actually down here because of me. So I'm sorry about that. Apparently I talked a lot of you into joining me down here. So they basically were like, and it's funny too, because one of the things I said to them, like when I was justifying my 21-year habit, I was basically like, you guys aren't down here. You don't know what it's like, giving them a bit of attitude. And you know what they told me? They're like, yeah, you volunteered. We didn't. You're the one that chose to go down there. There weren't many bodies to choose from, and you got to have a body. We didn't. There weren't an option for us. If I had a body, if I had the option for a body, I would have gone down there. So they basically told me to shut up and stop complaining. They're like, you're the one that picked that body. You're the one that talked everybody into going down there. So I'm sorry, guys. That's probably why you think you know me from somewhere. We met in the in-between, and I talked you guys into coming down here. So, but at least we found each other, right? And we're backing each other up now. So that's the important thing. Oh, that's so funny. So yeah, it's been an interesting weekend. I gotta plug my laptop in now. It's going dead. 1 second. So, any of you have questions? Since I'm just rambling on here anyway, what do you guys want to talk about today? There we go. Michelle says, I'm not sorry. I'm glad to hear it. What else are we going to do? Exactly, we knew we needed to get down here and do some cool stuff. So all kinds of interesting things are going to occur, especially if we keep up with these. I had golden teachers, David. I'd show you. I have some left, but it's Facebook, and I can't do that. It'd get me in trouble. Maybe we'll have a divinate conversation. Actually, I have an uncensored divinate conversation next week. So, and tomorrow, but that's going to be with Chen. If anyone knows of a Canadian site that sells Blue Lotus, let me know. I just Googled organic Blue Lotus. So just make sure it's organic, because there's a lot of places that might spray it and stuff. You don't want to do that. Oh, thank you guys. Complimenting my nail polish. Thank you. It's purple. Love you guys. What do you think about this eclipse that's coming? Well, the Tagetans have basically said that if there's any fear-based stuff surrounding the eclipse, then it's all cabal orchestrated stuff. They're trying to spread a lot of fear. But really, nothing bad is supposedly going to happen from the eclipse. I have heard that there is going to be maybe some kind of a veil being lifted a little bit more. But that's the thing. Like, we have no idea. There's so many timelines right now. And where does it grow naturally? It's originally from Egypt. The Egyptians used to use Blue Lotus for a whole bunch of stuff. So I do feel that the veil is definitely going to change, Kale. I'm with you on that. I do feel, because the thing is, we're already noticing this. Like, there's more mediums that have ever been on this planet. Like, I'm telling you, I'm running into mediums everywhere I go. Like, I met one at the grocery store the other day. I was making a joke about ghosts, and this lady's like, oh, I'm a medium. I can see ghosts. And I was like, oh, here's my card. Like, But this is the thing. There's so many of us that are having our gifts turned on. And that's one of the reasons why the guides are like, if you want your gifts turned on faster and more, you're going to have to make a sacrifice. So I'm like, all right, done. Because right now I feel like this is the most important time to be activating those gifts. We are, Nadine. We're getting super downloads. Really nice to see you, by the way, Nadine. Yes, they are all, there's just people that are so advanced right now that are everywhere. And then you know who's the most advanced? The kids. Children are so advanced. It's unbelievable. And oh my God. So I told you guys a little bit about this in the Spirit Release Therapy group, right? So the setting is me tripping really, really, really hard, listening to music, going through music videos because I don't know, I just listen to music while I'm tripping. And I came across the song Kids by MGMT. Do you guys know that song? Old song from like 15, 20 years ago. I've heard the song like 100 times. I know it word for word basically, but I've never seen the music video for it. And as I'm tripping, emotional from it, I go and I click over to watch it. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that video. I shared it in the group, so many of you have probably already seen my post about it. But for those of you who haven't seen it, you'll understand why it so badly triggered me. Because in the music video, there was a young boy. There's like maybe a 8-9-month-old baby in a crib. And in the video, there's monsters, like entities trying to get at this kid. And he's just surrounded by monsters everywhere he goes. This poor little baby, he goes out, his mom takes him outside, and there's monsters all around him. And everything he sees is just entities and monsters and people with really bad injuries and stuff. And oh my God, I bawled my eyes out. I cried so hard when I watched that video because if you think about it, that's what it's like to be born clairvoyant on this planet, is actually seeing all of these things around us. And then the fact that your parents couldn't see, that the people around you can't see, but that little boy could, like, it's very, very blessed to have these gifts. It really is. It is a wonderful blessing. But to be a baby with these gifts, I mean, I could not imagine what it would be like to be born clairvoyant, because just think about how much is around us at all times and we can't see it. So, man, it's just, it really hit me like a ton of bricks because I really want to help people with that. I really do. There was actually, and I was talking about this in the group a little bit, there is one of our cases where this young boy who has been cleared probably 20 times, we can't get the entities to stop. Like every time we clear him, they come back within 10 minutes. And so it's just one of those really frustrating things when you're trying to help this little kid. He's only like 11 years old and he sees all of these things around him. So Loy, I asked Loy's help because Loy she does Akashic Records readings. And I asked her for some insight as to why he's so susceptible to these attacks. And the very first thing that Loy saw when she was tapping into him, into his energy, was him lying on his back in a crib, completely surrounded by monsters, bawling his eyes out. So what was in that video is what has already happened to one of our clients. And so, I mean, it's all real. I mean, and if you read the comments, nobody understood what they were trying to depict in that music video. Everybody was like, oh, it means this, it means that. They were just trying to come up with some psychological reason as to why they made that video, when it's pretty blatant that people don't understand this world is a fucking zoo full of creatures. And they're around us at all times. We just don't know it. So, man, the reason I'm mentioning it is I just wanted to bring up the fact that this is how the world could go. This is how things could change. This is how the world was 13,000 years ago. It's called Kids by MGMT, Kimberly. And so, yeah, it is. We are so lucky to not have that situation. Like, I've been wanting to be clairvoyant. I've been asking myself, like, how do I turn it back on? Because I could see ghosts as a kid. And I turned it off because I was so traumatized. I was so scared. I still remember being in my bed going, I don't want to see, I don't want to see, I don't want to see. And now that I'm trying to see again, I see that video and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't want to see. Holy shit. But this is it. Because imagine if this is how 5D is going to be. A lot of people think that 5D is going to be all fluffy bunnies and rainbows. But if this is actually, I mean, who knows how it's going to go with 5D? We all might be waking up to seeing those things. I forget what it was, but I think it was Daniela that was talking about it, where she said there was a book in Buddhist text that was talking about different demons, and there's a whole host of demons that just mess with babies. Just to mess with babies. A whole bunch of demons that are literally on this planet. That's what they do, is they mess with kids that can see them. So, there's a lot of children who cry a lot and their parents get frustrated and they may not know why they're crying so much. And they'll be like, oh, maybe it's colic. Maybe the baby is just not feeling well. Maybe the baby is seeing some shit and nobody else knows. So it really is important. Thank you, Daniela. Yes, 86 demons that only bother babies at dusk. So if you think about it, like, imagine what this planet actually has on it and what we really do have to sort out. Like, this is one of the reasons why I want to start practicing astral travel again, and why I've been so frustrated with my inability to get out of body, is because I actually want to go in there and kick some ass. I do. I want to go in there like Marie and Sophia Sfaru, where they go and they basically just sword fight a bunch of entities at night. That's my plan. So this is one of the reasons why I'm switching. I'm gonna see if this Blue Lotus allows me to get out of body easier. I'm gonna need an astral sword. Hell yeah, Michelle. Oh yeah, lots of SRT. This is the thing, is that some people are just highly susceptible. And this is one of the things that we discovered as to why that boy is so susceptible, because apparently it takes up to 2 years for your silver cord. You guys know how we have that silver cord that's tethered from our heart chakra to our wherever we're coming from, and it gets severed when we die. Well, that actual silver cord takes up to 2 years to fully anchor into your physical body. And if that silver cord doesn't fully anchor, then there's 144 people watching right now. That's funny. So if that silver cord doesn't anchor, then that means that you're not going to be fully in your body. So it is easier to do things like astral project then, but it's also easier for things to walk in if they want to, because if you're not fully anchored, then other things can come and tether to your anchor, if you get what I'm saying. So there's a lot of confusion that lies in this area, because there are so many people that are struggling to understand why they don't feel like they're fully in their body. This is one of the reasons why, is they can actually like mess with your silver cord being tethered. So that's what they did. The entities that were messing with that little boy, they attached to his mom while he was in the womb. So his mom was dealing with the possession. And then as soon as the baby came out, they attacked the baby. And so the whole time that he was just crying his whole youth, really. And this is part of the reason why, is that's what the guides explained, is that they have been messing with him quite literally since the day he was born. So if you remember what, I believe it was Laura Whitworth would explain, that your chakras are beautiful, big, bright, spinning energy centers, very bright, vibrant light that comes out of them. But every time you have that entity that attaches and starts swapping some of your energy with theirs, it's like pouring some black paint into that pool of color, and it darkens it and darkens it and darkens it. And so this is what happened when you were dealing with an attachment from a very young age. That darkness just kept pouring into those energy centers, and now it's like a blending of energy, where this is one of the reasons why they keep coming back and forth. So yeah, protecting our children really is the most important thing, because they are far more susceptible than we realize. Especially the ones that can see, because they know when you can see and they will mess with you. It doesn't matter if you're 3 hours old, they will mess with you. So yeah, you can surround your babies with light. You can do all sorts of protective things, smudging and that sort of stuff. You can, if you've got children in the area and you don't want to burn smoke, you can always use what do you call it? A diffuser. So there's a lot of different ways. I would put sea salt around the crib, crystals around the crib. So anything like that would be very helpful for babies, just to help, bring up the vibe of the area. I can't call on a specific spirit and talk to them whenever I want. They only come to me when they are trying to give a message to someone, and I can hear in the middle part of their name. Like for Lara, I would hear, ah, and they won't give me the full message until they see me tell that person someone wants to connect. They only give me one clue word and only makes sense to that person. Then they spill the whole message. That's really interesting, right? That's a cool way of doing it, actually. Yeah, Jessica says, Laura says we can't clear level 2s and 3s. Yeah, that's true. And this is because they do this muzzling effect on us, where they basically cut us off from our own soul guides. So this is one of the reasons why Jono and Andy clear each other. So if Andy has a problem, he calls Jono to clear him, and vice versa. And yeah, I agree, Steph. Smudging is, I'm talking about for like the general house, not for the crib area. So if you are trying to clear the vibe of the space, crystals are best, sea salt, and you can use delicate essential oils, like rose, for example. Rose is a very high vibe one. So I would use essential oils in a diffuser if you're going to have them in the crib. Yes, exactly. But around the rest of the house, like, I don't think it'd be that much of a problem, especially if it's, I use cedar, I use lavender, I use sage and a few other things. And I smudge the rest of the house with it. Palo Santo essential oil also works, so you can use the spray. And what's funny is I actually got this from a friend, and it's called Pauline's Potions. I accidentally got the bottle a bit wet. But Pauline, it's called Lotus Magic, and it's got blue lotus in it. So what it is apparently you just see. Oh, look at the good mist on that thing too. Look at that. Ooh, it smells so nice. So this is the only blue lotus thing I've ever been given. It's called Pauline's Potions Lotus Magic. I got this at Disclosure Fest. Ooh, it's really nice. Blue lotus smells amazing. But yeah, you can get these kind of sprays. They sell sage ones. They sell Palo Santo ones. Frankincense is really, really good. I use frankincense. I use the sage oil ones. I'm not surprised it's really strong. Oh yeah, and you can use bells as well. What did I do with my tincture? What did I do with it? I'll have to find it. You can do sound clearings as well. You could do a singing bowl. Singing bowls will help to remove the bad juju from the space. You can use those. They look like little UFOs, the tingles or whatever. I forget what they're called. I wonder if I'm saying it right. You just whack the two little UFOs together and it goes ting. That will actually clear the space. You can even get some organite. What do I do with my organite? You can get some organite to place around. Organite's very powerful stuff. Tincture, that's the one. Thank you, Jordan. Yes, you can use bells. They don't like the sounds. So how they would have those dresses with like the coins on them that make noise, and they'd have those anklets that have bells and stuff on them. That's what they're for. That's why like gypsies and stuff used to wear bells a lot, is because it chases away entities. So yeah, any sort of bells, any sort of ringing. If you guys look up there by my thing right there, I have those. I can let it go ting when I need to cleanse the space. It's basically just chimes. Chimes will work. So if you put chimes by your front door and your back door, yep, chimes will work. Nice. Michelle goes to Ren fairs. I love Ren fairs, Michelle. I wish I could go to one with you. That'd be fun. Hand clapping. Yep, Siddhartha does that. You clap. Yep. And you basically are shaking up the energy of the space. So there's lots of things you can do to cleanse the energy of the space. You can call in your own soul guides. You can just call them in. It's one of the things that we don't really do enough is we don't call in our guides enough because they're up there as our backup. And if you don't ask, then you don't get because they're not going to, do stuff for you. They're not able to actually. In many cases, they don't violate your free will. So this is one of the reasons why prayer is so effective because one, you're using the law of attraction, but two, you're asking for help. And so you're giving them permission to help you. So entities and stuff, they don't need permission to really, other than to attach to you. They do whatever they want, but the soul guides don't play that way. So you have to actually ask them for backup, for help. I have always instinctively clapped in dead spaces. See, Steph, you probably knew something was there. And I love how you called it a dead space. Like, Yep. Tibetan symbols. Yes, Elaine, that's what they basically are. Those little ting. And they really do work. Like you can hear it vibrating around the whole room. This is one of the reasons why I like my singing bowl because it's got this like womp 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 that goes like around the room. You can actually kind of feel it going around the room and coming back the other side. Like it's so cool. Yeah, okay, Ray. Ray's like, just walk in there with a sharp knife and hold it like He-Man and command them to leave. Yes, our physical weapons I don't think scares astral creatures very much. But that's why you need an astral weapon. You can manifest a sword like Michelle. Dancing, yes, dancing also helps to clear energy. Remember when we did I told you guys about how we cleared the school? When we cleared the hospital, the school, and the cemetery like 2 weeks ago? Well, the soul guides, after they went through and cleared like 300 entities, 600 earthbounds, 50 portals, 1,000 curses, the very last thing that they did before we ended the session was they went and danced. All the soul guides went and danced through the hospital, the school, and the graveyard, and they were dancing. See, there's Elise right now. Elise is here. She's dancing. Yes, I love that. So that's what they did. And one of the reasons why they were dancing is because they were raising the vibration of the space. They were bringing it back up. So dancing is always very important. But you remember, if you guys were in that Chen chat, oh man, this is one of my favorite, the funniest things that Chen ever said during the Chen chat. This was during our private Zoom one with Andy. And we were talking about raising the vibration of the space. And Chen was basically saying, like, you're going to know a haunted area when you see one because the birds won't be chirping. There won't be any bugs, like the bugs and the birds and all of those things. Like all the creatures vacate the space when it's a really bad juju in the area. So what Chen was saying is one of the ways that you could raise the vibration of the area was to go and have sex. And I don't mean like, the unemotional type. I'm meaning like actual, like making love in that space, like under the trees. He was like, yeah, just go and make love under the trees. It'll fix the problem. And it was so funny because Andy, when he came back, and I was like, he's like, oh, how you doing? How you feeling? And Andy's like, good. I'm like, wait till you hear what Chen said. He's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, Chen told us to go and have sex in the trees. And he's like, okay. And he had to ask, Jane, and Jane's like, no, he really did say that. So apparently, making love in certain areas will actually, yes, exactly, Michelle. That was the word I was trying to yes. Not lustful sex. You need to actually make love. It has to be with somebody that you really appreciate. We'll put it that way. So apparently, yeah, that will also raise the vibe of the space and call in good juju again. I didn't know that. So there's good, there's like the high vibe and the low vibe version of everything, I guess, is the way you can look at it. Steph says, make love anywhere, raise the vibe of the elevator. That's so funny. So yeah, just don't get caught and you're fine. I'm sorry, officer. I was just trying to raise the vibration. funny. So any other questions? I'm just kind of chilling today. Has anybody else had anything really cool that's happened over the weekend? And I know some of you are waiting for me to get clearings in. The only problem with the clearings is that the mediums are so busy. They all have full-time jobs, so trying to get time with the medium to do the clearings is the hardest part. But we are going to have more mediums soon to work with, considering there's a lot of students that are signing up for the class this May. So the next in-person class is going to be in May, for those of you who are interested. But there's also the online training that's also commencing right now, so that'll be cool. Hey, Kate's here. Hello, gorgeous. Yeah, you text me, girl. I'm ready whenever you are. After this podcast is done, I can do some clearings if you want. So I know some of you have been waiting very patiently. I am still going. Yes, I am planning on doing the SEHH. Laura had to change her class because she's got so much on her plate right now. It's unbelievable. So the hope is that Laura is actually going to do an in-person class over the summer. So that is going to be one of the goals. There's going to be a lot of people, Jordan. Apparently, they've got like 40 people that are interested in attending. So there's going to be quite a lot of people going. I was not able to attend this one because Aaron and I are planning our retreat. We've had our retreat in Colorado planned for the last 6-7 months, and it's the same week. It was the only week that Andy and Jono could book the whole event, because they basically got an entire hotel for you guys for that whole week. So that's really cool. So I will be in Colorado for that, though. So that'll be fun. And I'm very excited to be working with some of you as well, because I know many of you are considering going to this event. It's going to be really cool. It was one of the best weeks, you guys. Seriously, it's so worth going. And Daniela sent me the links. Thanks, Daniela. You're the best. Doop, doop. So Monday, Tuesday, and Divinate on Monday at 1:11 p.m. EST. There's going to be a free live stream with Lloyd. Wonderful. Magical Mindful Mondays with Lloyd Jones. That's wonderful. Thank you, Lloyd, for doing that. I just asked Lloyd if she wants to come on the podcast soon, because I miss her. So we're going to get Lloyd back on here soon. Then Tuesday is going to be a lot of fun because we're going to have Angelica and Siddhartha going to be doing a talk on Tuesday. You know what's funny is that if you guys remember a little while ago, we asked Siddhartha what his birthday is. And he said that he believes it's March 25th. So today is March 25th. So happy birthday, Siddhartha. We love you, Siddhartha. I know he's listening. He's always listening somewhere. So big happy birthday to Siddhartha today for his earth body anyway. But one of the cool things that I wanted to talk to Siddhartha about tomorrow will be, because if you remember last time that he was on, we talked about his human life. So tomorrow I was hoping to ask him a little bit about what happened after he died, and went back into the astral. So we'll be able to ask some questions about Siddhartha as well. And there's also an event, the Sacred Healing Experience. Thank you very much. There's so many comments. I'm missing it now. Where is it? Daniela, you just had it. Where did it go? So yeah, there is going to be there's a special talk with Siddhartha that's coming up. So that would be the Easter workshop. That'll be March 31st. There's going to be a private healing experience with Siddhartha. So make sure that you guys check that one out. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing. Doop, doop, doop. Oh, yeah. So Siddhartha will be on the podcast tomorrow morning. And then we have the Chen Talk at 11:30 a.m. We did have to move it a little bit earlier because Andy's got a very busy schedule. So we will be able to talk with Chen tomorrow. I wanted to ask Chen questions about some things that we haven't really been able to discuss much. Like, I know many of you are concerned about the effects of the you-know-what that we we're kind of forced to set, I should say, not all of us, but many of us were forced to have to take for work, etc. So yeah, we'll be able to get some insight from Chen as to how we can counteract those effects and get rid of some of the, detox from all that shit. But we're also going to be able to ask him questions about the craziness that is apparently coming. So maybe we'll ask him about the eclipse. I don't know. We'll see how things are going to go. And then, let's see. So that's just tomorrow. Like, I'm probably going to be spending 3 hours with you guys tomorrow morning. That'll be fun. So then on Wednesday, I have a podcast with my friend Jessica. She's got a Facebook page called The Spirit Guide. You're going to love her. She's amazing. And then Natasha and Tara are coming on the podcast Thursday. They are going to be discussing, there are assessors. So they will be discussing SRT and their perspective of things, because they have been students. They were the last, they were in the last class that Terry gave several years ago. So they've been doing SRT for like 4 years now. So to hear from them is going to be really insightful. Get a little bit of information there. And then Sarah Jane Patton will be coming on Friday. And then one of the things that they told me to do on my trip this weekend is they said that I should take myself more time with Aiden on the weekends. So I am actually only going to stop my Saturday podcasts. I only had about 30, 40 people watching anyway, so it wasn't that big. A lot of you are very busy on the weekends. So Aiden's going to be joining the Boy Scouts and a few other things. So I'm going to be spending more time with him on the weekend. So I'm just going to be doing the podcast Monday through Friday. Although I do actually have a special event on a Saturday coming up. Saturday the 13th, there's Kitesh from BQH. She lives in Australia. So she's actually going to be coming on the Saturday podcast because of the time difference. So I will be doing 2 Saturdays from now, I'll be doing a 6 p.m. podcast with her. So that way we can actually hang out with somebody from Australia, because I know many of you that watch this podcast from Australia have to do it like 12 hours from now, because it's like 3 a.m. right now, your time. So for those of you watching the replay, that'll be fun. We'll be able to have a chit chat with her. Because Kitesh is amazing, and some of her hypnosis sessions are just incredible. The information that she comes out with, so that'll be fun. I made a special event for chatting with Kitesh because she's just so cool. So yeah, I figured I would just update you guys. Like I said, tomorrow is going to be a lot of fun. But Katie, if you're free to do some clearings, honey, I would love to do some with you now. So let me know if you're still watching and if you're free to do some. Because yeah, I want to get caught up. Some of you have been waiting over 2 weeks now, so I'm on it today. We're gonna get some stuff done. So I am actually slap that Divinate link in here. Oh yeah, Daniel. 1 second. Hang on, let me grab it. Divinate, where is it? Events, upcoming events. Yeah, the event with Siddhartha is not going to be a free one. It's not going to be on the paid one. It's an actual, what do you call it? Event. Which I'm not seeing here, ironically. Where is it? Exclusive content? Is it an exclusive? Nope. Where is it? Because you guys not seeing Daniela's link. Where is it? Thank you, Daniel Jackson. I appreciate you. Where is it? I'm trying to find the link that you posted, Daniela. Can you drop that for me? Oh, it's on Inspired Living. That's why I'm not finding it. Can you drop that in Messenger for me, and then I'll just copy it here, because they're not seeing your comment, Daniela. Yeah, for some reason, it's not coming up. So if you drop it to me in Messenger, I'll just copy it from there. Thank you, love. Here you go. This is for the event on the 31st with Siddhartha. Hey, we do have an Aussie watching. Hi, Sharon. I was just saying how late it is for you. Looks like Sharon also needs a Blue Lotus for sleep. Yeah, for some reason, Steph, it's not popping up on all the things. So there it is. Now you should be able to see it. And what link can I use to change free to paid divinate? I'm not sure. We need a Christopher for that one. Christopher handles all the smart tech stuff. I'm sure there's a spot where you can update it. It will be on. It's going to be a special Zoom event with Siddhartha. So that's why it's on the Inspired Living thing. Angelica's got to pay her bills too, guys. We got to, swapping energy for energy here. So, yeah, that's one of the reasons why. So, yeah, there it is. You guys should be able to see it now. I've shared it across all the different platforms. Any other questions before I run off to do some clearings? Anything anybody else wants to know? If you have questions that you would like me to ask Siddhartha, tag me, or not just Siddhartha, but also Chen for tomorrow. Am I related to David Starr? I don't know. most of us stars are related. Yep, we're all related to Dr. Comfort Starr. He was one of the first ones that came over in the 1600s, but there's a few thousand of us now. I'm even related to that Ken Starr that sued Clinton, apparently. And what's his name? That Homelander guy. Apparently, I'm also related to him. But like I said, it goes way, way back. Jono, I have not heard anything. I imagine Jono's feeling kind of under the weather right now. I've heard from Louise that the surgery went very well and he is in recovery. So I imagine that he is just kind of taking it easy and resting up and healing. So we'll hear from Jono when he's rested up a little bit. I know, Michelle. It made me laugh so hard when I found out. I gotta love it. Well, I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And tomorrow, like I said, it's going to be a really awesome chat tomorrow. We get to spend like 3 hours together tomorrow, you guys. It's going to be really fun. And I'm excited to see what the hell is going on with these solar flares. Shall we check one more time? Let's see what's going on. See if we've had anything interesting happen while we were just chatting in the last hour. Let's see. Yeah, things are still a little chaotic, but it seems like they're calming down a little. So maybe the rest of today won't have us, spinning out of control. We'll see. I love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. Have a wonderful day. Make sure you get outside and spend some time in nature. They're giving me shit for not doing that too. I need to spend more time in nature. In fact, they told me, Laura, walking to your car doesn't count. I was like... So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for a walk today. Mwah! Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye.